amidst all this gloom, sometimes we think that Africa is not doing well. Africa is doing reasonably well, even in the face of those problems. Sometimes Europe behaves as if she is Shangri-La, El Dorado, the land of God. No, she's not. The Europe that we are talking about, during my lifetime, I've seen the Soviet Union break up into little countries. They have their own problems. As I speak to you now, they are fighting in eastern Ukraine, and I've seen the Azerbaijanis and the Armenians fighting. They are not immune. Conflict is universal, so let not your spirit be dumbed as if Africa was the only theater of war. They have their own wars. Even in Asia now, ask them what is happening in Myanmar, ask them what is happening in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and in all those stands that are to be found in that part of the world. Ask them what is happening there. We are not the only ones who are going through this pain. If you go to Latin America, ask them what is happening in Nicaragua, what is happening in Venezuela, what is happening in Colombia, what is happening in Chile and Argentina and in Brazil. They are also going through the same problems as we are going through. And if you doubt that they don't know how to handle elections, you just have to see the last election that they were handling in the United States. If we had a problem with counting in Africa, so you see how they too had problems of counting. And it did not start there. If you go down a little bush too, and I'll go, even they had difficulties in counting. So it is not as if we are the only ones who have these problems. We have our own problems, and what we are telling ourselves is that the time has come for us to solve our problem. And don't you be cheated that the Arab world has no problems of our own. See what is happening in Syria, see what is happening in Iraq, see what is happening in Yemen. They have their own problems. We can do it. And Africa has a few gems. When I look at Africa, Zambia has demonstrated to the world, not once, not twice. You know, on that day, for historical reasons and for many reasons, which I'll refuse to explain even if I'm asked to, when I saw Kenneth David Kaunda losing the elections, it was painful. But that is not what was great about it. What was great about it is that he conceded defeat. And what was great about it is that historians now record that when they look for accounts that he held, that the match that he held in accounts anywhere in the world was the equivalent of 8,000 United States dollars after 24 years in power. If I was the Catholic Pope, I would have made him Saint Kenneth David Kaunda. And they did not stop there. You had another leader in Chiluba. You have done it 7 times. Then you had Levi Mwanawasa. Then you had Rupia Banda. Then you had Michael Sata. Then you had Egja Chagwa Lungu. And now you have Hakainde Hichilema. And the last time I checked, none of them has run out of the country. They are here. That is the beauty of it. Zambia is doing well. And it's not only Zambia that is doing well. In Namibia they are doing well. Sam Nujoma is there. Hifikepunye Pohamba is there. And if you go to Botswana, Kwet Masire is there. Ketumile Masire is there. Ian Kama is there. Beauty itself in all its splendor. If you go to Angola, I'm happy that the former president is now back home. Whether they'll punish him is another debate, but he is at home. And when I go to Mozambique, I'm happy that Amando Gweboza is at home. And when I look at different countries, I go to Malawi here, being President Mwamutarika is there, President Chakwera is there, whether they'll be punished, and I think if they engage in certain activities that are untoward, even God himself reminds us to punish them in accordance with the law, and I have no problem with that. And if you go to Ghana, you can see something good is happening there. In Senegal, something is good is happening there. In Tanzania, I've seen Nyerere come, I've seen Mwenyi come, I've seen Jakaya come, I've seen Benjamin William Mkapa come, I've seen John Joseph Magufuli come, I've seen Samia Suluhu come. Beauty is in the continent. So that those who think that the continent of Africa is only about chaos, let them be reminded that the continent has things that are happening to her and for her. Our duty is now to redouble our efforts and to make sure that this becomes a tradition. Zambia now finds herself in a very good state. You no longer have to travel out of the country under the pretext of medical problems during an electioneering period in the hope that you will look from outside. You can go to an election tomorrow and in 3 days, you know there'll be changes and there'll be no chaos. That is what democracy is. But the word democracy, somebody told me that we had better look for another word. Not democracy, that we should look for a word called Afrocracy. But I do not want to engage in linguistic adventurism. What I know that in the fullness of time, when Kiswahili becomes the African lingua franca, sooner rather than later, we'll find a word that defines what Africa is. So, fellow Africans, today, I must conclude, because that which has a beginning must end. And you know, I must only conclude in a particular way, the way I started. And when I started, I went through a historical journey. And I remember that great icon of African independence, the Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, when speaking in 1958 in Accra, Ghana, and when he writes, "I speak of freedom," the Osagyefo says, "Africa shows me promise, but she also disturbs me. She disturbs me because disunited she remains susceptible to the diabolical machinations of external powers. But she shows promise because if she is united, not the unity of the grave, where there is unanimity without discussion, but the unity where ideas are bounced against one another, then I have no doubt that she can become an important player in the affairs of the world. Today, Africa says that under the aegis of Agenda 2063, she will become a great continent. I hope she will. We must work at it. Today, Africa says that we must break down all the barriers. I too look to those days. I look to the day when, during the watch of this administration in Zambia, I will hear a freshness of voice from Hakainde Hichilema. I want to hear HH say, and him being recorded by historians, that Zambia no longer requires visas from any African country. I look forward to that day. I look forward to the day when I hear HH say that any African who wants to form a company in this country will not require a work permit. I look forward to that day. I look forward to the day when he will join with his fellow Africans saying that we shall only have a single passport. I look forward to that day. I look forward to the day when he shall participate with others and begin the process of ensuring that we have a single currency in Africa. I look forward to that day. And I look forward to Zambians and Africans liberating themselves, that when work permits are eliminated, that everybody from Africa will congregate in Lusaka. It is not true. Indeed, Lusaka will be opened when it is opened. I look forward to the days when Africans will move, and when I come to Zambia, I'll not be asked, what seeketh thee in Zambia? I look forward to that day. Those days will come, but we must work at it. So permit me to say, I look forward with optimism, saying as I do with the Osagie for Kwame Nkrumah that we must neither look east nor west, but we must look forward. Zambia is a great country, and she must demonstrate that she is a great country. I want you to make your former leaders happy wherever they are. Fred Chiluba, Levi Mwanawasa, and the great Kenneth Kaunda, that when they look down, they are able to see that at this Mulungushi, men and women sat. And those men and women were Africans. And the only thing that they saw and recognized is that our continent must rise again. And that our continent can only rise when men and women unite and say that it must be done, because if it is not done, we are done. Ladies and gentlemen, let us play our part. Let us rise in the knowledge that this continent must never be fair game for the world again. Let us rise in the knowledge that we are the mother continent. Let us rise in the knowledge that Africa must liberate herself economically, culturally, and otherwise. It can be done, and it must be done, and it is you and me that must do it. God bless you.